such a time as this.
And welcome to For Such a Time as This. I'm your host, Pastor James Pittman. I did a short clip, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, about Christians and what should we do when faced with violence. Are we to be pacifists or what? And I got some responses, and one particular gentleman, Luke 22:36, we'll go over. But it seems like it's open season on Christians and those who stand for Christian values in the public square. Let's look at this clip and comment a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Ma'am, don't do that. Please. Please.
You're a terrible person.
Please.
You're a terrible person.
Stop. Ma'am.
Is a misdemeanor. Instead of putting her handcuffs, dragging her off all this stuff, we're gonna cite her, which is the same thing as an arrest. It's an arrest by citation.
It's not right to be here. It's a right to purchase. Let me take yours back. You want to do something? Is she gonna do something? Snail.
This baby. Think you should keep it?
It's a baby. If someone was raped and she gave birth and she decided to kill her 3-year-old child.
Hi everyone, Representative Brian Sims here, and I'm once again out in front of Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania. What we've got here is a bunch of protesters, a bunch of pseudo-Christian protesters who've been out here shaming young girls for being here. And so here's the deal, I've got $100 to anybody who will identify any of these three.
So we're
that I'm going
actually
to donate to
just
Planned
praying for the
Parenthood.
babies.
I'm going to donate to Planned Parenthood. So
we
look,
believe that
a
women
bunch
deserve
of white
more.
people standing out in front of a Planned Parenthood,
deserve more.
shaming
I'm
people.
really
There's nothing
sorry.
Christian about what you're doing.
I'm pretty
Nothing
far from
Christian
white.
at all about what you're doing. Hi, nothing Christian or loving or godly about what you're doing. So I've got $100 to anybody who will identify. $100. See if you got some friends out here. $100. Today's protester. Now, she is an old white lady who's going to try to avoid showing you her face. But the same laws, luckily, that protect her from being out here also protect me from showing you who she is. Who would have thought that an old white lady would be out in front of a Planned Parenthood telling people what's right for their bodies? There's not a person coming here that needs your advice on what to do with their bodies. Not one. An old white lady telling people what's right to do with their bodies tells you that you know what's right for their families. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Woo! The last one was probably the ugliest. That's our state rep in Pennsylvania, I believe in the Philadelphia area, who is putting this video up on his website. And apparently he has some followers. And he's asking his followers to identify these people, 3 of which were young teenagers, with their mother, identify the, and he doesn't say the mother, he goes to the 3 young children. Let's put their information out there. Really? He's an elected official. You also saw a videotape of someone who was engaged with a gentleman who was a male, he was engaged with, and he just ups and roundhouse and kicks the person. Then you have a lady who walks across the street and slaps. I think the caption says she was a 15-year-old girl, slaps her and goes down. And then we started watching a young lady on campus. Did you put this up? She then starts to punch and hit the gentleman taping. Now, the question becomes, what should we do when people start doing that? Man, that's tough. That's tough. Last clip I did something on this Christian pacifism. If there is such a thing, is the turning the other cheek passage. And I think that was amongst believers, and how many times you should forgive them. I do not believe our God is passive. And someone sent me this verse. I am familiar with it, Luke 22:35. Christ is talking to his disciples. He says this, and he says to them, when I sent you out with no money bag or knapsack or sandals? Did you lack anything? They said, nothing. He said to them, but now let the one who has a money bag take it, and likewise a knapsack. And let the one who has no sword sell his cloak and buy one. The Lord is saying, if you're not strapped, get strapped. If you're not packing, start packing. Jesus at that point is saying, get the tools to defend yourself. Because I think there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time and place for our Lord to say nothing, to be abused, to be sacrificed, and to die on the cross. That was the time. That was the place. But there's also a time and place when he's going to come back and swords are going to come out of his mouth. And it's going to be over for his enemies. And so it depends, given the state and the circumstances. I believe it depends in the situation by what you should do. Definitely, Christians, now we should avoid conflict. We should run from it. We do not want to get in physical altercations, but let me tell you something. You have a man come and slap my wife and she goes down. Oh, we're going to have problems. We have a man come and hit one of my sons. Oh, we're going to have a problem. And that's maybe I should tell you, all three of my sons bigger than me now.
For such a time as this,